Did I not call this, man? Did I not? Well, actually, no, I didn't. I think I picked Jake against Tommy. That's tough. Listen, we got to react to what happened this past weekend. I did a live fight companion on it, and I had the time of my life, so thank you to all those guys who came in and supported in the live chat comments. But nonetheless, Tommy Fury gets it over on Jake Paul. He is the first man to take away Jake Paul's undefeated record, and I already know what everyone's going to say. Oh, first pro boxer that Jake fights, it's a loss, so this means it's the end of his career. You guys could not be more wrong. I actually think this is the best thing that could have possibly happened to Jake Paul's career. And without further ado, well, let's get into it. So I like to use the phrase perfect storm a lot on this channel. I think that's exactly what happened this past Sunday. You have Jake Paul stepping in there against Tommy Fury, the fight that a lot of people were waiting a long time to see. It goes pretty well. I mean, both guys looked really good. Jake Paul dropped Tommy late in the fight with a jab. Tommy looked to kind of be in control the entirety of the bout. You could have maybe given one round, in my personal opinion, one round to Jake, where he looked really good, but the rest of the fight was all Tommy Fury. That's not to say that, again, Jake Paul looked bad. It kind of exposed a lot of what I like to call his mechanical issues in there in the ring. It kind of brought it to the forefront of everyone's eyes. So that's really good in terms of just Jake Paul's development as a boxer. But then there's also the fact that this was such a close fight, right? A lot of people thought it could have been a robbery. Again, I thought you could give a UD to Tommy, in my personal opinion, but a lot of people saw this fight going either way. And I do think that Jake is going to re-up and activate that rematch clause. So we're definitely going to see another one of these. It's good for headlines, right? It's good for news. And Tommy Fury gets to stake his name in this new and developing market for influencer athletes. This is new territory for Jake. Oftentimes in life, failure is not the end. Rather, it is a new beginning if you look at it in the right way. Jake Paul going up against this level of competition not once, but twice is going to help him incredibly over the course of his career. And listen, I could sit here and confidently say I was wrong about Tommy Fury. He proved a lot of the doubters wrong, man. I know a lot of people in my chat, we all went with Jake, but I mean, listen, hell of a performance by Tommy, man. You can't take anything away from him. I do still think, though, that being in the Fury family, he should have a few more marketable skills past the point where he's at now. I understand that he's a young guy. He's just having his pro debut, so he's going through the motions a little bit, but you figure he'd pick up some more skills from the family name. I mean, having a brother who's arguably one of the greatest boxers in the world right now, if not all time, you think he'd have some more skills, or that he'd be farther along from where he is right now. And again, I think the normie take would be to say that this is the end of Jake Paul's career. I've seen 15 videos now with the same title. It's the end of Jake Paul, right? I don't think so. I think that this is something that Jake Paul's career most certainly needed. And it's because it legitimizes his past wins. Tough wins, too. Mind you, wins where he had to step through the fire. This was another fight against Tommy that he had to step through the fire. But to get a win, now that we know is legitimized, you really can't take anything away from those fights anymore. This fight takes a large percentage of people's grievances against Jake and throws them out the window. That these fights are all scripted, that they're all set up so that Jake Paul wins. It's not the case. You can't say that anymore. So yeah, it's a loss on his record, but if you think about big picture, this opens the door for so many more opportunities. This got people talking. It got the social sphere drumming with different storylines that could be potentially walked down and kind of examined. It's also a big W for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That area, I think John Fury is right when he said this, that area is slowly becoming a really good hotbed for combat sports. I think this loss will serve as kind of a galvanizing post in order for Jake to really examine what areas he needs improvement in, which is his footwork, his fluidity in there, how he throws shots, some of the laziness that we see from him. I think his gas tank needs a little bit of improvement. I didn't see the same finishing sense that I saw from him in past fights. I'm gonna be honest, Tommy Fury looked like the more tight technical guy in there. Trust me when I say that this is just the beginning of Paul's career, the real beginning of Paul's career. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Anyone that's in the know knows that Jake Paul always comes to box. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.